Hey guys, ETJ Writes here. So today we are going to be talking about the top 5 things that you as an indie author need to invest money in so that you can make it in the book world. Now, you of course can publish your book for completely free, not spend a single dime on it, but you may end up with a mediocre product, or if the product is good, something that just doesn't catch the eyes of potential readers and therefore flounders. So, what are the top 5 things that you should invest in? And excuse the noise, I'm outside today. It's beautiful lighting, beautiful weather, but there might be a little bit of rain and ambient noise from the traffic. So, top 5 things. The number 1 is your book cover. Unless you are insanely talented, it's not a good idea to do your book cover yourself. Even if you're good at illustration, laying out the design does require a little bit of a graphic design background. So try and find an artist who fits your vision, but who also knows how to work to current trends and what looks good on the front of a book. And like I said, illustration and book cover design, they're 2 slightly different things. Now, you can hire out to people from like Fiverr or other sites like that, or you can pick an artist that you're friendly with, but you just want to make sure that you get someone who knows the genre, knows the style, something that fits. You don't want to put a cover that has too many fantasy elements into the sci-fi genre. You don't want to put something that looks like horror into a children's book genre, unless of course you're writing Goosebumps. But you get the picture. People do judge books by their covers. You want to be able to tell the genre instantly and attract readers so that they will pick your book up, give it a chance over the other thousands of books out there. Usually a good book cover design can go from anywhere from $100 to maybe even $500, depending on how popular the artist you choose is, how well known they are, what skill level they're at, but expect to spend somewhere in that range from $100 to $500. It could be more, it could be less, depending on how well you know the artist, etc., etc. Number 2 is editing. This is where a lot of people fall down. In the indie book world, a lot of people I've seen have stories about where they paid an editor to edit their work for them and then just threw it onto Amazon without checking it. That's not what you want to do. There's lots of different styles of editing. There's copy editing, there's proofreading, there's developmental editing, there's line editing, lots of different types. And you can do multiple rounds with each one. The point of editing is to make your book as good as possible. So sometimes with developmental editing, you're working on the story. With copy editing, you're working on grammar, things like that. You should always proofread, whether you do it yourself or get someone else to do it for you. But editing is where you're going to spend the majority of your money. You can find editors out there who will edit your books for very cheap. But it is not recommended you go with one of those editors, because most of the time they're either trying to take advantage of you by editing your book really quickly and telling you they did a good job, but it's not really good. And you put it up there and turns out it's badly edited, you get a poor reception from your readers. Or some of the cheap editors really do care about you, but you have to wonder how good their editing skills are if they're offering them for very cheap. So just watch out for very cheap editors. Watch out for extremely exorbitant editors as well. There are people charging way too much for their rates. Before you pick an editor, go online, look at what the rates are, then go through different lists of editors. But if you don't get your book edited some way, people will be able to tell, especially professionals, but just regular book readers will be able to tell as well. And you don't want your story to have a bad review that just talks about the grammar. You want to say maybe they just didn't like it because it wasn't their genre, or they thought it was going to be a story about love and there was more action than they were expecting, something like that. But you don't want your review to say, great story but riddled with spelling errors, because no matter how good your story is, if the editing is bad, whether it's spelling errors, whether the story doesn't make sense, whether you said the character's name in one chapter and then changed it to something completely different in a different chapter, when you have inconsistencies like that that could have been saved by a good edit, you will be kicking yourself in the foot if you don't have that happen. So editing is where you do not want to cut corners. I understand that sometimes people can't pay for a good edit on every single stage. That's where beta readers and critique partners and things like that come in. But the stage where you feel you most need the editing, invest in an editor. This will cost you, depending on the length of your book, it can cost you anywhere from $500 to upward of $4,000 if you've got like an epic fantasy or sci-fi series. Well, just make sure, that's one of the reasons to have a smaller word count. Make sure that you pick an editor that's not going to break your bank. Okay, number 3. What is the third most important thing you have to spend your hard-earned money on to make sure that you put out the best book possible? Number 3 is going to be your ISBNs. I forget what that stands for, but you can look it up, okay? Your ISBN is the number on the back of the book, the 9-digit number or 13-digit number, I think it's 10 or 13-digit number that every single book has, okay? And it's like the book's identity, its footprint. There's only one unique version of that book linked to that ISBN, okay? So a book in different formats, paperback, hardback, audio, different formats, ebook, can have different ISBNs even if it's the same book. And actually they have to have different ISBNs even if it's the same book, because it tells it that the book is a certain size and it's a certain format. And yes, you can go on Amazon and you can get a free ISBN for your book. You can even get a free ISBN through Ingram Spark. But whoever registers the ISBN is the person who owns the publication rights to that book. I'll say it again. Whoever the ISBN belongs to owns the publication rights to that version of the book. A free ISBN means you are signing away your publication rights to that version of the book. Okay? So if you get a free ISBN, Amazon will own, or Ingram Spark will own, the publication rights to your book, not the copyright. That will always belong to you unless you sign it away in like a legal document or something, but the publication rights. So you can publish a paperback at Amazon with a free ISBN, but you can't publish a paperback anywhere else. To do that, you'd have to unpublish your book from Amazon, get an ISBN, and republish it. Go wide, Ingram Spark, other places, okay? So it's very important to invest in your own ISBN if you care about the publishing rights of your book. Now, an ISBN can be expensive. I believe it's a single ISBN for $125. But when you buy them in bulk, the price reduces. It becomes $295, which is like buying them for like $30 each or something like that. So much better to buy in bulk. That's usually about 10 ISBNs. And you're thinking, well, I'm publishing one book. Why would I need 10 ISBNs? Okay, listen. One book. Paperback, hardback, audiobook, ebook. That's 4 ISBNs right there. And if you've bought 10, you still have 6 left over for your next books. However, if you're publishing, let's say, just the ebook or just the paperback, well then, the next 6, 7, 8 books in your series, you've got those extra ISBNs left over. Either way, you're saving yourself a ton of money if you buy it in bulk. So definitely do that. It is worth spending the money on if you want to retain the publication rights to your book. With that ISBN, you can publish your book anywhere. Okay? Now, on to number 4. What's the 4th most important thing you should spend your hard-earned money on? This is a quick one. Bookmarks. I love bookmarks. They're so easy to hand out, to just kind of, when you're reading, you can mark your place, and then you can look at your own beautiful bookmark you've designed. But for readers, they can look at your bookmark every time they're reading as well, and be reminded of your book, or check out whatever you have on it. So for instance, on my bookmarks, I have the back matter of my book, what the book's about, and then a link with a QR code to other books that I've written and my website and things like that. So that's what you can use your bookmarks for. They look pretty, people will be reminded of you, you can hand them out easily. They're very cheap, especially if you find like a good bookmark design site. Just make sure that you order a couple bookmarks first. Make sure you've got the ones you want, but you can get some really nice shiny bookmarks for relatively cheap. So you could probably expect to spend anywhere from $60 to $200 on them. So not a big cost here. And when I say up to 200, that's if you're ordering thousands and thousands of bookmarks. And if you order thousands of bookmarks, you're probably not going to run out for a long time. So it's a good investment to make. All right, we are on now to number 5 of the 5 top things you should invest your money in as an indie author. The 5th thing is marketing, okay? Ads. Word of mouth will only get you so far, okay? The big publishing companies, the books that you see break out like crazy, they have a ton of money invested into them, okay? They have a whole publication team making sure that the word gets out to libraries, gets out to bookstores, gets online, is sold everywhere, is in front of your eyes. There's thousands and thousands of dollars that go into making books profitable. Publishers are banking on a couple of their books making it really big, earning them lots of money, then they recoup those publishing marketing costs, okay? As an indie author, however, you don't have tons and tons and tons and tons of money at your disposal to make your book popular. And popular books are made, okay? Yes, there can be organic growth of books, and that certainly happens, but if publishing wants a book to be big, they'll make it big. Okay, so what can you do as an indie author to make it big? Well, like I said, ads. Ads are the key. You can go with Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Twitter ads, and Amazon ads. There are more ads out there like Bargain Booksy, BookBub, things like that, and you can find the ones that work best for you. There's a really great marketing group called 20 Books to 50K on Facebook that I will link to in the description box down below. But the main gist of it is you have to spend a little money to put your book out there, because if people don't know it's there, how will they know to buy it? Word of mouth, like I said, only goes so far, especially if you're in the middle of a global pandemic like we are and you can't actually get out there and spread the word. So online is going to be the way you do it. Of course, you can go old-fashioned, call the radio stations, write emails, do newsletters, all of that kind of stuff. And that will get you some traction. But you must also invest in, let's say, Amazon ads. There's a great ad course by Dave Chesson, and I'll link that in the description box down below as well, that teaches you how to effectively utilize Amazon ads to bring more new eyes to your book. Now, one of the ways that happens is, of course, people are on Amazon already. They're already looking to buy something. They're not just kind of walking down the street and then presented with a billboard ad, okay? They are wanting to actively buy something. And so if they see your ad on Amazon, they might look at it and go, huh, this looks interesting, and it entices them to buy. So I would definitely start with Amazon ads and then go from there. You can test out to see what works best for you. But you can set it so that you're not spending a lot of money and just kind of adjust up and down. Again, that's in the course that I'll link in the description box down below. But the idea is, with ads, you're gonna have to spend some money. This one, you don't have to spend a lot of money. It could be anywhere from, let's say, $100 to $10,000. And I know that sounds crazy, 10K on ads, but there are authors that are making 10K on their books. Indie authors like you and I. So don't lose heart. You will be able to sell your book well if you put a lot of time into marketing, okay? There you have it, the top 5 things that I recommend indie authors spend money on to get their book out there, to make it good. You've got the book cover, you have got the ISBNs, you've got editing, you've got ads, and you've got bookmarks. And I don't think I quite did that in order, but you can recap and go back through the video and see them all in the correct order, okay? Top 5 things that you must absolutely invest money in. I think personally the 2 most important are the book cover and the editing. Then, of course, the ISBNs are really, really important. And the last 2, you don't have to do them, but I think they're great marketing tools to get your book out there. So make sure that you invest money in your book if you want it to be the best it can possibly be, if you want it to get in front of new readers and be exciting. And tell me what your top 5 things are that you think every indie author should invest money in the comments down below. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Till next time, ETJ out.